Picture this. It's 5 a.m., the wind is howling, the plow just buried your driveway in a concrete wall of snow, and you're either back in bed in 20 minutes or you're out there fighting for an hour with the wrong machine. That's what this video is going to decide for you. Today, we're counting down the 6 best snow blowers for heavy snow, from good all the way to, wow, I can't believe it just did that. 6. Ego Power Plus SNT 2110 Peak Power. On paper, it's super attractive. Cordless, 56-volt battery system, single-stage design, and a 21-inch clearing width, which means you can cover a decent path in one pass without dragging a cord behind you. It uses Ego's peak power tech, so it can combine 2 56-volt arc lithium batteries for more muscle, and in lighter to moderate snow, it really does feel surprisingly strong for a battery unit, throwing snow up to around 35 to 40 feet when conditions are right. For quick morning cleanups, especially on paved driveways, it's honestly a joy. Quiet, instant start, and no gas smell hanging in the air. Now, here's where things get real. When the snow is that heavy, wet, this should be illegal kind of mess, the Ego will clear it, but you can feel it working hard. It's still a single-stage blower, so you're not getting that aggressive 2-stage chew and throw action you get with the big gas units. In 8 to 10 inches of wet snow, it pushes through, but you may need slower passes and occasional breaks to keep from bogging it down, especially at the end of the driveway where the plow pile lives. One thing that's easy to love is the steel auger. It bites into compacted snow and ice better than plastic, and because the unit is reasonably light for what it is, maneuvering around cars and tight walkways feels pretty natural. 5. Joe SJ627E. This one is interesting because it tries to give you gas-like performance from a simple corded electric setup. You plug it in, hit the trigger, and you've got a 15-amp motor spinning an all-steel auger with rubber-tipped blades, clearing a 22-inch wide path up to 13 inches deep in one pass. For driveways, walkways, and decks, that width and depth combo is actually perfect for most heavy storms where you don't want to be out there all day. The thing this Joe does really well is volume. It can move up to about 840 pounds of snow per minute, which is honestly impressive for a corded machine. And it throws it up to around 25 feet through a 180-degree adjustable chute. You feel that when you're clearing. You're not babying it through fluffy snow. You're actually watching it chew and chuck snow in a pretty satisfying stream. The dual LED headlights are another real-world win if you're clearing after work or before sunrise. But here's what matters. That power is still single-stage and electric. In heavy, wet snow, it does the job, but the margin for error is slimmer. If you try to go too fast into deep, wet snow, you're more likely to stall it or clog the chute, so you end up learning this little sweet spot pace that keeps it happy. The cord is also something you either get used to or hate forever. 4. PowerSmart DB7109A. This is where heavy snow goes from ugh to okay, let's do this. With a 24-inch clearing width and around 20 inches of intake height, it's tuned for exactly the kind of deep storms that bury your car up to the mirrors. This machine throws snow far, up to around 40-45 feet under good conditions, and has a snow plowing capacity of roughly 2,400 pounds per minute. When you're behind it, you feel that power right away. The auger chews through dense snow and the impeller just launches it, so even end-of-driveway plow piles don't feel like a brick wall. The self-propelled drive with 6 forward and 2 reverse speeds means you're walking behind it instead of wrestling with it, which matters after 30-40 minutes outside. It also includes electric start, so you're not out there yanking a pull cord in negative temps. And the 13-inch tires plus aggressive tread give you the traction you need on slopes or uneven surfaces. The LED headlight on some versions is handy when you're clearing at night. And a one-hand 180-degree chute control lets you redirect the throw without stopping your forward motion, which feels way more pro than constantly fiddling with levers. In real heavy snow, this is where the PowerSmart really earns its keep. Ideal snow depth is listed around 12 inches, but it can absolutely handle more if you go in smart passes. And that two-stage setup means it keeps feeding and throwing instead of just pushing snow around. 3. Greenworks 40V. You're looking at a 20-inch clearing width and around 10 to 12 inches of clearing depth, depending on configuration, with a 40V battery system that can also power over 75 other Greenworks tools. For someone who's already in that ecosystem, this instantly becomes more compelling. In use, this Greenworks feels lighter and more nimble than gas, but not toy-like. With a 4.0 AH battery, you can get up to about 30 minutes of runtime, and in that window, it does a very respectable job of clearing driveways and walkways, even with heavier snow. It throws snow up to around 20 to 21 feet through a 180-degree chute, and the brushless motor helps keep the power consistent as you work. You don't have the roar of a gas engine, so early morning clearing feels much less like you're announcing it to the entire neighborhood. What stands out with this unit is the ease of handling. At under 40 pounds, it's far easier to maneuver than a big two-stage, especially if you have tight spaces, decks, or multiple short runs to clear. The LED lights on some models are genuinely helpful, and the overall build feels solid enough for repeated winters, assuming you store and maintain it properly. Does it love heavy snow as much as a gas two-stage? Not quite, but it holds its own if you work with it. Ideal use is going out during or right after a storm and clearing before it gets insanely deep. 2. Cub Cadet 2X 30-inch max two-stage snowblower. This is a full-on, two-stage, 30-inch wide snowblower with a 357cc 4-cycle OHV engine built to handle serious driveways. Think 12-plus parking spaces in size. If you see that and think, yep, that's me, this machine is definitely in your lane. It has a 30-inch clearing width and a 23-inch intake height, designed to remove up to about 18 inches of snow and throw it up to roughly 40 feet. The 14-inch augers and impeller work together to grind through deep, compacted snow and launch it far out of your way. And the all-wheel drive system, plus 16-inch X-Track tires, give it the traction you want when everything is icy and uneven. Using it feels, well, honestly, kind of satisfying if you're into machines. Push-button electric start, trigger-controlled power steering so you can easily pivot this big unit, and heated soft-touch grips on many versions to keep your hands from turning into popsicles. The LED light bar up front does a great job lighting your path in low visibility, so clearing in the early morning or during a storm doesn't feel sketchy. Single-hand operation frees up the other hand to adjust the overhead crank chute and single-lever pitch control as you go. In truly heavy wet snow, the stuff that makes lesser machines cry, the Cub Cadet 2X 30 Max feels like it's barely breaking a sweat. That 357cc engine has the torque to keep the augers turning and the snow flying without bogging down, as long as you're not trying to chew through an entire glacier in one shot. Number 1. Craftsman 24-inch two-stage self-propelled gas snowblower. This one hits that most people, most winter zone perfectly, especially if you're dealing with heavy snow but don't need a commercial monster. It's powered by a 208cc 4-cycle OHV engine with push-button electric start, so getting it going in freezing temps is a non-event. You get a 24-inch clearing width and about a 20-inch intake height, ideal for up to around 18 inches of snow, and it can throw that snow up to roughly 40 feet through a durable steel chute that rotates about 200 degrees. The self-propelled drive with 6 forward and 2 reverse speeds lets you dial in how fast you want to move depending on terrain and snow depth, and that makes a big difference when you're dealing with wet, heavy drifts versus lighter powder. in use, it just feels right-sized. The 12-inch sawtooth steel augers and impeller tear into heavy, compacted snow and ice without drama. So even that brutal plow ridge at the end of the driveway turns from, oh no, into, yeah, I got this. It's heavy enough to bite into the snow and track straight, but not so huge that you dread getting it out. The ergonomics are thoughtfully done too. Controls are within easy reach, the grip design reduces the effort needed to shift speeds, and adjustable skid shoes help protect your surfaces and avoid scraping everything to death. Final thought. That's all for today, folks.